Good morning from Marlborough. We are up, we are moving, we're gonna go to breakfast, and then it's time for us to head on down the road. We've got a castle, I think it's called Gripsholm Castle? We'll find out. And then we'll be going to the Vasa Museum, which is in Stockholm, to see some cool ships that my grandma remembers from 50 years ago. They're still there. And then we'll be in Stockholm. This is our last full day in Sweden. Tomorrow morning we fly out. So it's our last day. I'm gonna miss it. But first breakfast, and then drive. Alright, we have made it to the Gripsholm Castle. It was originally a stronghold in the 1300s, and then it was taken over and turned into a monastery, and in the 1500s it got turned into a castle. Now it is a museum to preserve some more history. Just outside of Gripsholm Castle there are also some ruins. This one is from the 11th century. It was placed here in memory of someone's son when they went off to war. There are 65 rooms in the castle. You can pay to enter it when it's open, and even pay for tours in different languages. It now houses several of the portraits of royalty through the years, and they have them all up. It's one of 7 royal palaces still in Sweden, and they've got quite a bit of artwork from the centuries of all the different royalty. It's rather impressive. I mean, even the ceilings are painted. The view from the toilet in the king's chambers, quite a view. He got to poop at the view. Apparently in Sweden, the queen got fancier quarters than the king. on the third floor of the castle, there is actually a theater, and it's one of the old traditional. I actually learned about this in school. The scenery was underneath the stage, and there were ropes and pulley systems that would pull the scenery on and off through slots in the floor. They've actually still got it here, and it's still preserved. I never thought I'd see this in person. This is cool. Alright, we explored the castle. Obviously didn't film every room. You just have to come see it yourself. The theater was probably my favorite part. The fact that it's so well preserved is pretty neat. I got to learn about that stuff in history classes while I was going to school, so to see it in person was quite fun. But now we will head off to Stockholm to our last museum, the Vasa Museum. Yeah, to the Vasa Museum we go.
Sommaren begynner och alla blad och blommor det gror. Ni ska gå till skogen med feta sidor och trinda juven.
Next stop in Stockholm, our last main one, the Vasa Museum.
Så som stjärnorna på himmelen det brinna. Och 7:00 ska ni gå hem. Trav i trav, klöv i klöv och fot i fot. Himmelen den rodnar och jorden mjuknar. I vårens famn i luftens klara käll. Och jorden sjunger och stjärnorna svarar. Och på min jord ska ni gå och där ska ni bo. Komma kor i lulen. Komma kor i lulen. Komma kor i lulen. Kor i lulen. Kom hem. Kom hem. Ko, kom hem. Kom hem. La tididi.
All right, we have made it back to Stockholm. As a note, there is rush hour traffic in Stockholm around 4 to 5. It's miserable. Still better driving in Stockholm, though, than Gothenburg. Avoid driving in Gothenburg at all possible costs. Here is not so bad. If you are going to drive in Sweden, I do encourage you definitely know the road signs. There are some things that will kind of throw you for a loop. But we can talk about that in a wrap-up episode when I think about all the things that are worth mentioning. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a wrap-up episode or if it's going to be a end of this one. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. But back in Stockholm, I've dropped off the rental car. It's all squared away. And yeah, we're in the same hotel as when we started. Not as high of a floor, so the view's not as nice. I'm only on the first floor. I can see Burger King. Yeah, Burger King. So American. But, alas, it is our last night in Stockholm. I'm gonna go see what the grandparents are up to now that I've gotten back from turning the car, figure out getting them food, and then after that, I might explore for my last night in Stockholm. They'll probably call it an early night. It's only Thursday. It's a Thursday night, and there's already a hustle and a bustle going around. And we're definitely in a touristy type place. There's a lot more people and it's a lot busier here than when we got here 2 weeks ago. The weather is nicer, much cooler, way less humid. Actually enjoyable. So, time to eat dinner, and then I might explore. We will see. But in case I go in exploring and I don't check back in, last day of Sweden, check and done. We got to see Gripsholm Castle. That was really beautiful. Lots of really well-preserved stuff. And we saw the Vasa Museum. The Vasa Ship is the only 16th/17th century ship that is actually still preserved and anywhere to be found on Earth. There are no other 16th century ships. Sweden has the only one, and it is spectacular. If you love ships and pirates and that kind of shindig, definitely encourage to come see it. It will not last forever. They're doing their best to preserve it, but that ship was at the bottom of the harbor for 300 something plus years. So they're doing their best to preserve it. They've definitely found ways to preserve it, and they're going to try and make it last as long as possible, but I encourage you go and see it. It's the only one on Earth. Go and see it if you like ships. It's a really cool museum. But yeah, we've seen tons of Sweden along the coast, the countryside, the cities. I haven't hit any northern Sweden, so I'm definitely going to come back, get a travel van. I wish I had more time. There's so much more to see and do. But I'll have to wait till the next time. In case I don't do like a wrap up at this one, if you guys like the video, hit the like button, and if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and follow along for more adventures, because as always, there will be more, I promise. And I'm hoping for more international ones in the future. Fingers crossed. Money depending, of course. It took me 3 years to save up for this one, but to be fair, I paid for myself and both my grandparents. So I was saving for 3 people. So it took me 3 years. About a year each, basically. And now that I've been here and I have connections with my cousins and I know more about the city and what I'm looking at and I'm getting better at Swedish, I'll probably be better at finding cheaper ways to get here faster. We'll see. But yeah, till the next one, you guys have a good one. Later.